All right, good day. I hope you're doing very well. It's an amazing time we are in. Thanks for joining and thanks for choosing to listen to my talk. It's really promises to be a short but impactful and exceptional time. I decided to commence this series of Wisdomics, basically to share some measure of wisdom and to validate certain statements that have been said over time and people seem to have believed and lived by them, and how we can begin to just revisit certain things and look at them critically. Please, if you can, do well to share this video with your friends. Do well to share this video with as many people that you know, and let's learn together and let's begin to get the learnings and the lessons from this moment. As many people that you know. All right. So quickly, I want to start by sharing the major difference between education and academics. Okay. Invariably, these two concepts have been misinterpreted or misrepresented or sometimes misused in certain statements, because in actual reality it's possible to be academically excellent but yet you are not educated. Okay, a lot of people can go to school, earn degrees, have a lot of things, but in reality, they are really not educated. And that's why you have certain individuals who have school, who speak even very nice English, who even say a lot of things. But when you vet their statements through the filter of wisdom and filter of truth, you really find no depth in them. All right. So, in actual reality, this would be dealing with a lot of things that would get us really educated and open our minds to begin to question realities and to begin to gain wisdom from our immediate environment and subject certain statements through the filter and the test of truth. Now, the difference between academics and education. Academics basically is a system that restricts your thinking based on a curriculum that has been created and many times does not want you to think outside that system of learning. Okay, so it does not turn you into someone who is really creative to come outside the system of learning. But education in reality gives you the ability to be open minded to suggestions and ideas. And that's why sometimes when you go online, maybe you go on Facebook, you go on Twitter, you go maybe sometimes on Instagram or those social media platforms, and you see certain deep statements, certain amazing posts, certain amazing write up, or maybe it's even a video shared. And you go to the comment section and you begin to doubt whether some people really went to school. Now, they went to school to get academic, but they didn't go to school to become educated. Why? Because your ability to be open minded to new knowledge and subject them onto your own reality is what makes you educated. All right. And that's why it's really important that as you begin to move on and carry on in life, you must seek education added to your academics. Okay, you must seek education added to your academics. Now, the reason why you see someone who went to school, who maybe sometimes even had a first class or a 2-1 or had a distinction, and you put them in certain position expecting that they would perform because of the academic performance, and yet you see them not do so well, not even perform or get results or give you results and all of that, is always because you are trying to bring out a result from you are trying to get an educated result from an academic individual. So it's really important that you begin to demystify whether you're truly educated or you are just academically sound. And these things, they are just very, very different things. So going to school, it's meant to really give you an opportunity to be open-minded, that when you go out to the world, when you go out to do certain things, when you step out into certain places, you have the ability to question things. You are open-minded enough to your environment. You're open-minded enough. You are open-minded enough to situations. You're open-minded to listen to people, question people, see beyond what they said, is what really make you educated. So now we want to question a certain statement, and we want to really check out how true it is. Now there's this statement you have always heard, that you would hear people say, it is better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Okay, you may have heard that over time. It is better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Most times, people will look at that statement and say, a lot of people haven't even seen the statement as deep. And I tell people that what is deep is dependent on your level of depth. What you call deep is dependent on your level of depth, because what is deep to you may necessarily not be deep to another individual. Why? Because when they begin to measure and look through their lives and begin to look through the series of training they have refined their minds on, they really found out that certain things are not really deep as you think. Okay, so what you call deep is dependent on the level of depth you have built in yourself. Now, and sometimes when people say you need it, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Why don't they say it's better to need it and have it, and it's better not to need it and not have it? Because sometimes when people push such things, they push such things most times to really sell certain things to you. Okay, why? Because they know that their survival mechanism is in selling certain psychology to you and to get you to rush to get it without really giving you time to think through it. Without really giving you time to think through it. Now, when in your investment in having things, sometimes you must understand what you are giving in order to have those things. There are things actually in this life that you really don't need, and you don't need to invest time to have them. If you think through life critically, there are things that you should not even bother. Why? Because by citing an example of someone who has this, someone who became this, you need to begin to measure that what is your own journey? What is your own path? How are you choosing to run your own life? Will this be necessary as you begin to journey? And by not investing times and years in having those things, you are able to save more time for the things that really matter to you. So you are able to save time for the things that really matter to you in life. So you must not take every statement as deep, because there are things you really don't need, and you should really not take time to have them. Why? Because at sometimes they become baggages and confusion to the actual journey to your destiny. I'll say that again. There are things you don't have to invest. You don't have to invest time to get. Why? Because they become baggages that causes confusion on your journey of destiny. That's why from an early part of life, from an early stage of life, you must create a level of awareness that makes you know the journey you're on, that makes you know what you want and what you really don't want. So never let people push out statements to you in order to make you take rash decisions that you may end up regretting eventually. For example, there are certain skills, there are certain aspects that you really don't even have to bother about. Why? Because they are really not necessary in your journey. And the time you would have spent in trying to have those things, you will invest them into the things that really matter to you. So when people say it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it, yes, to some point is really important, but it's really telling you that you need You need to create time to know the things you actually need, the things that really matter, the things that are major to you, the things that are crucial to you. And then those are the things that you channel your energy, you channel your attention, and you channel your part towards at certain instances. So when people make certain statements, when people say certain things, you must be willing to see beyond what is said. Because there is more to what is said than what is said. So there's more to what is said than what is said. So you must begin to look out, what's the intention of this person saying this thing? With what context is this person actually making this statement? And is this statement really meant for me? You should be able to find out, you should be able to analyze, you should be able to think critically before you imbibe and take every statement into yourself. Now, let me give you, for example, let me give you, for example, there are people who are maybe to some extent try to dish statements like so this is there's a part of the statement that is true, there's a part of the statement that is not true. Okay, now for example, the ability to create a life of options offers you a measure of sovereignty to harness lots of choices at critical instances in your life. Like, for example, we live on a daily basis in a world where nothing is really certain. Like, there are no certainties anywhere. There's really nothing that is certain. There's really nothing that is sure. There's really nothing that you can say, yes, it's definite that things is going to work out, things is going to be sure. Now, you should accept that statement in such situation if you are creating a life of options. Like, for example, you have a means to go for a further degree, and because you want to create an option for a career path in that particular journey, so that if peradventure what you seem to be doing now and giving lot of effort to seem not to be working, there's an option you can switch to with a further degree. For example, there are people who may also tell you, don't bother yourself. Why should you have further degree? The major degree you should have is an SSC. And I used to tell people that when people make some statements, you need to look out on them, you need to check out on them and say, what is this person doing? Because when you get carried away by what a person is saying and not watch what the person is doing, you may end up becoming a victim and place that person superior to the journey path that you're working on. Because there are lots of people who make some statements and make you believe that what they have said is true, and they say it with a lot of confidence. And that's why I love what James Clear said. He said, never mistake a confident explanation for an accurate prediction. I'll say it again. Never mistake a confident explanation for an accurate prediction. So there are people who dish you out from saying, oh, why bother about a further degree? Go and do this, go and go this. This is the major thing that you need. And eventually you find out that they have multiple degrees, which is a degree after graduation, and they are doing so well. But yet they tell you not to go through that path. So there are certain good statements that are said that are really not meant for you. So you must begin to look out for statements and see between them and filter them with your journey, filter them with your own life, and know where they fit in for you. So you need to think critically in order to be shielded from strategic monopoly. All right, from strategic monopoly, from people who want to remain at the tip and then they restrict your thinking not to think beyond where you are. Now, what are four important questions you must always ask from every statement that is said? Number one, what will this person gain if I follow this ideology? So when people make some statement, you must begin to say, what's this person trying to gain from me by making this statement? What's this person trying to make me offer? What's this person trying to collect from me by making this statement? If I choose to follow the directives of this individual, what will this person gain and what will I be giving away? But sometimes people don't analyze and think about it. So someone make a statement, you just move, you just follow the tide, and not understand that this person may be trying to gain something from you. And when you don't know what you're giving away, you will give it away and after a very long time, you will find out that you have given something precious out. So, what's this person trying to gain by telling me this? Number two, what will this person lose if I choose not to follow this statement? What will this person lose if I choose not to follow this? Because sometimes people know that if they don't manipulate you with certain words, if they don't try to massage your emotion and tilt you towards taking certain decisions, and they just find out that they are losing something. Why? Because for everything that is said, there seems to be something that is required in exchange. So, what will this person lose if you don't give or if you don't follow that statement? Now, number three, does this statement really apply to me? Does this statement really apply to me? Sometimes when you think like a king, when you think like a ruler, when you think with a sense of personal sovereignty, you will know that there are certain statements that are not meant for you. Certain statements like, oh, just go to school. If you can't, come out and do what you really want. Sometimes it's not meant for you. Sometimes it's just meant for maybe those who want to really remain at the base of the pyramid, or those who want to stay at an average level with the masses, those who are not willing to lead, those who are not willing to go to the top. They just want to be there. They just want to be there. They don't really want to make any progress. Okay, or maybe they are just meant for people who want to stay in servitude for a very long time, those who just want to keep serving, those who don't want to have a cause that they really want to lead in their lifetime. Certain statements you need to ask, is this meant for me? Don't just rejoice and say, yes, oh, that's a wonderful thing, I'll follow it, I'll do it, I'll do all of that. Consider the context. Consider the scenario, consider the faces, consider what aspect and area of your life you want to really use this. Number four is, what area of my life should I apply this to? Sometimes some statements should be applied to your financial life, but they should not be applied to your social life. Some should be applied to your social life, they should not be applied to your business. Some should be applied to your business, they should not be applied to your career. Some should be applied to certain areas of life, and this should not follow certain areas of life. So you must begin to look at where this fits, so you don't generalize statements to all areas of your life and end up regretting through those actions. So it's very important that you begin to measure. Number one is, what would this person gain if I follow this ideology? Number two, what would this person lose if I don't follow this ideology? Number three, does this statement apply to me? And number four, which area of my life should I apply this? Okay, so it's really important that you check through some statements. So when people say it's better to have a thing and not need it than to need a thing and not have it. It does not apply to every area of your life. There are certain areas of your life that ideology should be applied to. And that's why I say that when you listen to certain words, you must take a journey and sit in the boardroom of your mind and begin to discuss with the key stakeholders on the path of your destiny, and to begin to decide on the path and journey of life that you want to walk in. Begin to decide on how you want to move. Maybe certain people will say, oh, stay in that region, don't go. Or people will say, oh, you need to move out of that region right now. You need to sit down, take a journey into your mind. The problem is we have lots of people who are busy on the external part, on the outside part. They are busy doing this, they are there, they are doing a lot of things, trying to journey through activities, but they are not able to come into their inner self and measure the progress that they need to make in life. So it's important that you begin to prioritize progress, the progress you make in life, over the activities you engage in, because progress is more important than activities. You don't want to see the next 20 years of your life, next 30 years of your life, next 50 years of your life, and I treat all the activities you engage in, but you were not really deliberate about the progress you want to make in life. So measure every statement, look at it critically, take it through the test of Wisdomics, and consider whether those things are meant for you. Till I come your way again on Wisdomics Part 2, keep being wise, keep taking critical decisions, and keep making the rest of your life the best of your life. Please like this video, share, put in your comments, let me know what you learned from this video, and then we will see when we see. Cheers.